different European island that's like other low density countries. They give quite good incentive for technology driven businesses.
Yeah, and also
So, yeah.
personal incentive for the Mediterranean Sea, right?
Oh yeah. I'm married to a half Greek lady. We met at
Oh, very
uni.
nice.
Her father was Cypriot, so they introduced me to Cyprus, and then I said one day, let's just move here.
How nice.
Because taxes in England is just they're literally taking you to cleaners.
Yeah, well, United
Okay,
States
guys,
too.
let's run the room because we're running out of time. And Francesco is here on the app. He's just lost on the way to the room. And Myrtle was in touch about an hour ago. So hopefully she will find her way. And I'm going to take care about Akina. Christine, do you mind to play the video and I'm opening the room?
Yeah,
and
of course,
announcement, please. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you for joining the panel today. And before we start, we just want you guys to watch a little video about Connect.Club, and hopefully if you're new here, you'll understand it better. Thank you.
And by the way, if you want to see it better, tap in the middle of that screen with your finger.
Thank you for watching, everybody. And again, before we start with our lovely moderator Amanda for today, I just want to announce some housekeeping rules for today's panel. So first of all, please do not go before the Q&A starts. We'll have time for Q&A 10 minutes before the end. So when you want to go on the stage, click the yellow speaking head button and have a sit on the blue chair. That way you'll have a chance to quickly jump on the stage to ask your question. Then tap on the profiles of all of our speakers and connect with them, and also connect with each other.
I'm doing it right.
Great, Sean. You can move around the networking zone by tapping on the screen, tapping on the blue chairs, on the blue stools, anywhere. And you can zoom in and out of the screen just with 2 fingers, just like regular pictures. Just zoom in and zoom out, and also click the plus button at the bottom of your screen to ping people in, invite your friends, share the links, and let everybody enjoy today's panel. So I'm giving my word back to Amanda, and have a great day.
Thank you, Ina. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Today we're discussing the hot job alert in the metaverse. And today we have experts with us, Sean Alamo, who is the program director at Connect.Club. We have Francesco Vincente, who is the business dev at Somnium Space and the creator of Two Lives and Sewer Nation. We have Myrtle Ann, who is the founder and CEO of Block Tides, and Akina Ho, who is a board member of the Hong Kong PropTech Association. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And if you want to just kind of go one by one and give a little more deep dive of your background for everybody here, let's start. Sean, do you want to start? Hello?
Sean, your mic is off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm talking like yeah. So I'm Sean. I'm director at Connect.Club. My background, I'm actually an engineer. My first degree, second one, I'm more of a business administration and finance. I worked across various sectors, starting from oil and gas, high-tech companies. Lived in Middle East for quite some time. In Europe, of course, US. Now I'm on a tiny little island in Eastern Med called Cyprus, which is home for Connect.Club as well. And our goal is to create the communities within crypto use cases such as NFT, Metaverse, and DeFi. And we develop this wonderful world's only video and audio gamified social network called Connect.Club. That's me.
Great. Thank you so much. Akina.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
I was just about to say.
I'm from Hong Kong. Been in the Silicon Valley for a while. Before the bubble burst, so you guys know how old I am. Built a unicorn a couple of years ago in Hong Kong after 18 months of hire and helped them roll the business plan about in 125 million US dollars. Now I work in global transformation, bringing them from and now I'm for three of finding talents, building talents, because I always say things we do is so new. The talents we want are not, doesn't exist. So we have to build them, nurture them, and grow together with them. So that's my motto.
Nice. Thank you so much. And Francesco.
Sure. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for inviting and nice to meet you, everyone. Hi, Sean. Hi, Kina. It's a pleasure to share with you today the stage. And I'll give you my 2 cents. So I work in Somnium Space. For who doesn't know, it's a virtual reality metaverse on the blockchain. I mean, a lot of people refer to it as the Ready Player One movie, so a place where you can immerse yourself completely. And but I also really like what we're doing today. I mean, it's funny this app and how we're interacting all together. That's my first time, so excited to dive deeper, especially into jobs, because my role in Somnium, it's, I would say, very horizontal, but one thing that I'm very excited and passionate about, it's education. For me, it's very, very important. So for me today, discussing a few thoughts about what are the jobs of the future, it's definitely on target for what I do every day. So yeah, let's start.
Awesome. Yeah, it's my first time as well. So welcome all of you and thank you again for being here. I don't see Myrtle is here. Am I wrong? She is not here. So we'll just get started. Okay, so Akina, I'm going to start with you. What are some of the biggest opportunities for employment in Web3, and where do you think is the greatest need?
Wow. Jesus Christ. I think for every possible Web2 role you need it in Web3. Because Web3 is so new. You're talking about compliance, you're talking about treasury, you're talking about development, product management, you're talking about sales skills, you're talking about marketing. Of course, like sales skills, not like a door-to-door salesman anymore. It's more about like partnership, networking, built-in community. So it's huge, right? I think the mindset has to do that. Can you translate what you're doing in Web 2 into Web 3? Having that kind of experience even making you more valuable, right? Writers, you're talking about graphic design. Now, it's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3 is that certain occupation has changed their status of importance. In a Web 2 company or Web 1 company, graphic design or digital marketing may not be that important. Able to build relationship with other, building community and being friendly and being helpful is not characteristics of a trait that you want to hire. They are key components, right? Right now, you cannot be in a Web 3 space if you don't have any graphic designer or, or digital marketers, right? People who can create arts and understand how to do 3D modeling and stuff like that. But in our real estate world, doing BIM or 3D modeling, rendering and stuff is like a plus, not necessarily needed. Now is vital. So I think that the market for any type of a role in Web3 is not well defined. I think this is the time when you see a role you like, you send an email, a CEO or founder of that company on LinkedIn or you can say, I want to be in this role. Right? You have to ask and you have to make your role a role.
Right. And on that note, thank you for that. On that note, Francesco, what role does social media play in Web3? And this is kind of a three-parter, but let me just ask them all and then you answer them as you can. So again, what role does social online communities for Web3 projects? And lastly, how can prospective employees grow and leverage these skills to find jobs in this vertical?
Wow. I mean, a lot to say. Since my position in Somnium, every day I've been asked for new people to say, hey, how can I join the team? How can I be part of the community? What can I do? What do you guys need? And I always say, hey, like Metaverse is like Mars today. Like it's a new world. Like this is just the beginning of like completely new stage, a new era of kind of jobs that you can do. And I mean, I have in front of me every day. I mean, I want to let's say to consider now Somnium, even if it's a metaverse, as a social media you do it in VR. And I see a tons of new jobs every day. I mean, like I see people are creating like virtual events or virtual real estate agent or people that come from any kind of community building or contents that they always had the opportunity to, I mean, they always had the opportunity to create contents, but the only difference into Web3 and Web2, I think that what we have now into social media, it's the opportunity of really, I mean, it's a responsibility, not just an opportunity for us, since we are still in a builder perspective, more than a user perspective. It's to build the tools for people to monetize what they're doing right now. Because if you see the social media, I mean, usually you monetize with advertising, right? So I think that we can talk a lot about how this entire business of advertising, maybe it's not the right business just for anyone. So I think that our responsibility now in building the next Twitter or the next Instagram on top of the blockchain is ensuring that you can create some pools, some liquidity pools for people from where they can access and they can monetize. So at this point, I mean, the webs are coming into social media. I mean, if now we lived in a creator economy where people were creative, now I think we can do it 10x, 100x on that, and just keep doing. So again, I don't want to advise a special role, a specific role, but there is room for improvement for growth.
Yeah, no, I certainly agree with that. And Sean, on that note, how will the metaverse shape the
That's very I'm being we need to start about thinking what metaverse represents, and I certainly feel that it's not some kind of a gaming platform. I don't think it's one technology app or a tool. I think it's a better way for people to interact with content, with their community, but essentially it's a way of thinking about combining different technologies to to experiences, how we kind of are utilizing the tech, how we interact across our lives, whether it's a social life, professional lives, in an entirely new way. So we need to really understand the applicability of it, and we certainly see it every day, that it's the applicability and livelihood and experiences span across things like social relationship. We've got many music artists here, film 3 producers, so it's entertainment, the gaming element. What was it? Yesterday we were talking to somebody who wanted to teach people fitness, dance and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So and the list go on, and of course it's work. It's education. So the commerce itself. So once we understand the applicability of it, then we can certainly recognize the advantages, what it can do, and I think potential is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Francesco, your background is in wearable technology. So do you think wearables and VR will play a large role in the metaverse? Is there a market for these types of positions in Web3?
Sure, there is already a market. It's not so big yet, of course. Like I saw that like 50 million people are using VR right now. And yes, thanks for mentioning, let's say, the background in wearable technology. Like 3-4 years ago, I happened to have my first job in a company that was building a full body AI wearable skin suit that is enabled to like change the temperature of your body. So I mean, crazy things that usually right now are more mainly used by astronauts or some kind of B2B workers. But right now, 3 or 4 years later, when I work in Somnium and we integrated with Tesla Suite, that is one of the most advanced haptic feelings in the world. Basically, you see that there is this technology that is enabled to let you feel the touch while you're in VR. So if I can name a new word, a new kind of job that there is in the metaverse right now, especially from social media, it's definitely there isn't hate. There isn't hate at all. I mean, we hug each other when we meet in VR, and imagine having a full body skin suit that you're wearing. That like, can you feel the hug? Can you feel the shots of any game that you're playing together? So I mean, this is for me like everything that is VR is not metaverse at all. But if you want to call it metaverse, you should have it VR first. So I think that this medium that we're using, that is like the phone, it's smartphone. It's not the real point of access for me for an incredible immersive experience. I mean, we can discuss, we can have this amazing discussion right here, but kind of think about memories. Think about how your brain wires your memories that you have. Just immersion can give it to you. I mean, you will never forget a great time with your friends, with your a travel that you made sometimes to meet some people. But we can easily forget all the chats and communications that we have every day. So what is I was thinking even this morning in a webinar that I was doing like from VR. Like for me, this is a memory that I will never forget. Like while I was talking, there were like whales around me. There were like cards going around, people that I could speak and interact. It's definitely an amazing experience. So yes, there is a market. There is a lot of jobs opportunities. Of course, it's becoming harder and harder because I mean, making hardware, it's not easy. It's in the name itself, hardware. But I mean, we can definitely create more contents. We are creating more contents. More Web3 University and other amazing creators are making more contents. And we also aim to provide these contents to universities, to school, so that we can train anyone, kids from the beginning, or at least make them experience what's the real power of these technologies, because they're fun. They're very fun.
Right. No, that's great. And getting back to the topic of this this discussion, Akina, what major differences between marketing and sales in Web 2 versus Web 3?
Because let's go sales first. Those are two very different roles, right? Sales in the metaverse is no longer at this point. In the future, it will change. At this point, it's mainly selling to the brands, selling companies to go into the metaverse. That is a very you can say easy, but also hard, right? because getting brands excited and creating NFT and going to the metaverse or doing there's no Web3 commerce yet for the mass public, right? It's all B2B right now. So that is the huge change in the sales aspect. You're trying to pitch to brands, sell to brands. So it's you have to understand a little bit tech to explain what does an NFT is, how do they do NFT, how do you sell in like the Decentraland or metaverse or create your own metaverse, whatever it is. So I see that a lot of co-founders, people with tech background are taking over that role, right? It's more like a B2B sales. There's a partnership sell. It's also when they sell, it's a solution selling. It's not a product selling. It's not a service selling. It's a solution selling. Selling services. You're selling marketing. You're selling technical. You're selling PR. You're selling the whole thing. So the salesperson need to, how would I say, build the network to be able to provide that. So that's the difference I see hugely at this point in time for Web3. The marketing is about how do you sell into communities, because not the mass 95% of the world are not into NFTs. Okay, and then we don't have a commerce metaverse yet. So you want them to go and buy NFTs right now. So you have 5% of the world. These 5% of the world people are already actively involved in Twitter, LinkedIn, and DAOs or chat groups and things like that. So when you market, it's no longer like, you know, social media marketing. It's a marketing to a community and getting community to buy into your concept idea and get you're helping the client launching their product. So it's a different type of marketing, right? And then so like if you're ever involved in a DAO, you have like hundreds of people and everybody's going to advocate their project. How do you market and make sure that your project gets priority and people actually come? So you have to give away free things, free drops, or, you know, it's a different type of marketing. It's kind of like a sale of marketing, but it's marketing. Build awareness, build trust and credibility to the brand that you're bringing in. If you're working with big brands, of course, you don't need to build trust. But if you're building for an artist no one ever heard of, for a cause that they're not sure is it real or not, you have a little bit more to do than just doing social media posting. So it's a very different type of selling and marketing.
Yeah, totally agree. And opening it up for all three of you, speaking of DAOs, what role do DAOs play in the future of work in Web3? Will DAOs make it easier or harder for people to find jobs in Web3? And so, Akina, let's start with you since you brought up DAOs.
Well, DAO is going to be really important, but that is just so early in its infancy of development of structures regulation, that it's pretty dangerous, messy. If anybody's, I assume a lot of people here in DAO, it's a whole lot of energy, right? Whole lot of activities, but you're not sure who's responsible for what unless that person says, hey, I'm responsible for this, which is also really awkward because in a DAO is supposed to be governed by the members. So a lot of members who are a little shy, not sure if they can speak up. They have expertise, but they're not sure is it valid for certain thing in a DAO. They may not speak up. So I think there are a lot more, how I say, help are needed for a DAO to be effectively run, to be secured, because we heard a lot of DAO being hacked and money stolen, right? And then about credibility, right? So like, if your DAO is only worth a few million, not a lot of people is going to risk the reputation and go to jail for a few million. But if your DAO is worth $1 billion, you never know when someone suddenly changes up. You know what? I have access to a couple $100 million. Why don't I just take it and disappear and get a whole new face and look, right? And live somewhere else. So how do you govern that? The structure, the infrastructure is not there. So working with a company is a heavy investor to build product, right? I think we need something like that for a lot of DAO, small or medium or large, to use a platform to help govern treasury. I think the most important is it's the treasury part because it's money. And then this governance of voting, making sure that everything that we decide to do and giving people access, right, the governance of that DAO needs to be there. These two components before anything else happens, right? Because if you don't have these two things set up properly and governance set up properly, the chances of people dropping the ball, you know, intentionally or not intentionally, or doing something reckless, will happen. There's no governance. So right now, U.S. government is still thinking of ways how to regulate the DAO, because the DAO, if they're an investment DAO, becomes a security. How do you govern that? There's no rules and but they have set up a unit to go and find people who hack on DAO or do something illegal in DAO to go after you legally, right? So they put that in place for it, which is a good thing, because a little bit. So that's how I see DAO right now as an organization. But there's a lot of potential. I love the people I meet in there. Just West right now.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. Sean, what are your thoughts?
Look, my thoughts, I think DAO has to have scholarships, for example. You know, I mean, this scholarship could be aimed at mentoring scholarships, like maybe myself, who kind of like NFT related games, for example. So it's sponsored.
Sure, I think DAO it's an amazing tool. I mean, myself, I also been working in Somnium. I created a DAO, and this is amazing because we found some new people in Italy that wanted to work here. So I would say, like, what's the best way to find a job into Metaverse and Web3 right now? I mean, from my perspective, that I have like 5 to 10 people coming to me every week, and I usually value a lot the ones that have a great idea. I mean, if you really want to work in a place, I think that you should like go on the Discord or go on the Twitter page or wherever is the company or the project that you would like to work on, study everything about what is already been done, and see if your brain creates new perspectives and new ideas, for this project. And this is something that, I mean, people will love it immediately. If you don't want to go so far, I mean, just open again the Discord and wherever is the company documents, everything that you can find online, and find if there is some projects contributor. I mean, it's full of DAOs, and I love how some of them are organized with like the all the projects updates that are there, and there is always written on a side like, hey, do you want to join? Reach out to this person here. So I think that the best skill that you can have right now to find a job, it's just meet people around the space, just ask to them, be curious, and things will happen. I mean, I went through like this all my entire life, and it's still working. So I hope it's gonna work forever.
Francesco, what do you think is the biggest challenge for developers looking to break into the metaverse space?
I think that the biggest challenge for developers right now is choosing which is the blockchain to work on. The chains that are available right there, that I see already a lot of challenges and battles between one and each other, and I mean, that's fine. This is how innovation works. So the biggest challenge for developers, even if it's a world that is already started, it's definitely picking up the right side. And maybe sometimes that is not so fluid and they're not able to come back. But one of the biggest challenge for developers, I would say that it's, I mean, usually developers, it's not, I mean, it's not easy to network. Like you can just go to hackathons, for example, and meet people. I mean, NFT events, when I go, there aren't very rarely there are developers. I mean, you should go more to hackathons. So that's I say how you can overcome your challenge. And yeah, I mean, there are different challenges. Lack of documentation, for example, like some people that come into new spaces, they don't find so many tutorials of how these things has been done before. And by working closely with developers, I see how much they relate on bugs that has been already solved by someone else on some GitHub communities. So lack of documentation is something. This is why more than ever now developers and non-developers should go along and try to build together and also keep track of everything that they build.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Akina, what advice would you give people with quote unquote normal jobs who want to get into the Web3 metaverse space? How can they break into the space if they're not creators or developers?
There can be marketers, there can be product managers, there can be project managers, they can be receptionists, they can be, I think, don't think that Web3 is such a different animal. It's still a real life people. So everything you need in a Web2 to run a company is basically in the same thing in Web3, right? The only difference is that you need to learn the language, what they mean. And then I think in the Web3 space, because we're so lack of talents, everybody is going to be forgivable that you don't know all the different things that is going on, and because they're learning too and they're developing too. As long as you have these 4 A's, I always like to make a joke, not because my name starts with an A, but the type of people that survives in moving from new tech, not from an old technology to new technology to a new field, whatever, is these 4 A's you must have: attitude, aptitude, attribute, and also adaptability. If you have these 4 characteristics, you can do anything. And what I mean by that is attitudes, you have to have positive attitude. You fail, you learn, pick yourself up, do it again. Learn, don't make the same mistake twice, right? So the attitude has to be really positive, very resilient. Your aptitude, meaning that your ability to learn really fast. You can't learn the same thing 10 times. You need to be able to learn it the first time, second time, good, go. No, I don't think people will have that much patience to teach you 3, 4, 5, 6 times the same thing over and over again. So you need to have that ability to learn fast. And then the hardest thing is, I think it's called attribute. People like always ask me, because I was actually part of the Harvard Business School research group for the only a couple months ago, about what is the newest leadership quality for the innovative world we're in right now. It's led by Professor Linda Hill. She is the dean for the Harvard Business School. So she comes up with the agenda and everything like that. And she lead the thing, and I represent Greater China one out of 5 leaders in the world. And she said, what do you mean by attribute? So it's not a terms that we use for talent. So it's important people understand this. For example, if you're going to open a new financial auditing company, you would never hire me because you will go to jail, right? Because I will break all the rules, I violate all the guidelines, and I would think of new ways of doing things better, right? So, but if you think of doing a new business, 100 to 1, because I'll figure out how to get it done the quickest way, cheapest way, and the most effective way. So it's based on attribute. You can't base on experience to hire people in the Web3 space that you want to do whatever they want to do. You based on what is their attribute, their attitude, and the aptitude to learn, to put into place. They just have the basic skills of that functionality, right? If you're a marketer, you need to know like how marketing is supposed to be writing, how branding is, the social media channels and stuff. But I mean, you might market totally different. You need to pivot, right? Sales, you might sell differently now. In what do differently pitch, sell in rapport relationship or attribute viable for that role and feel different way and ability. Easy, right? So
you, Akina, that.
Yes.
No, thanks. No, really. I mean, what you're saying is like the rising of the soft skills, right? I mean, like that's the point. Like definitely, like we've been educated for years and years that we have to be the best in one job, in one skill, but actually adaptability is the best part. Like, I mean, I have my personal story that before going into Web3 and everything, I was looking for other jobs, and I applied to. Before even knowing, let's say, blockchain and everything, and I applied to Amazon. And actually, I almost entered into Amazon, and inside all the let's say the curriculum, everything that they were asking, it was like 3-5 year experience here and this and there. But at the end, nothing of this was true. More and more I was going through the process, and more they were judging me for like my adaptability of leadership, team working, like communication, how you can negotiate, how you can sell. So I think that, right, if these companies are hiding this, but I think that what we can learn is that we as Web3 companies companies, we are not hiding. We make it public. I mean, what's the best skill that you can have to join a Web3 company? It's just passion. It's just everything that you want to do. So yeah, I just wanted to double down and say that soft skills are so underrated, are so untaught. If you see around the schools, no one is teaching you how to speak in public, how to build good relationship with your fellows. Like all these kind of skills right now in a world that is going more technological, it's becoming more important because I mean the technology is doing a lot of the jobs that we're doing before. So right now, what's our role here is just to connecting us and connecting the technologies together that we use every day.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I think it's the access we have to these resources now more than ever too. I think, I'm living proof of that. I didn't major in PR and marketing. I started a PR and marketing company. I had no prior built. Imagine the pandemic. I lost everyone within a week time span and I had to pivot. And I pivoted and now I have heavy hitters in the crypto and blockchain space, not having any prior experience. So totally agree with that. And let's get a little more specific. Sean, which skills, let's just say for Connect.Club specifically, do you need to have to work in Connect.Club Metaverse?
Well, first and foremost, you do need to have people skills, right? Because we represent 28 countries now. This platform represents, so it's different background, different cultures. So you definitely need to be aware how you communicate. Okay, and there should be some kind of a cultural acumen, etc. So I think the people skills are extremely important. On sort of a technological side, it's interesting how you guys were talking about developers and the challenges there in the metaverse. I think if you write developer, you are your choices are now like suddenly expanded. Everybody wants you. Like we are looking right now for React Native developer, web developers. React full stack developers. So these are the options that we have currently for talented people to come and join us.
Mm-hmm. Great. Does anyone from the audience have any questions so far, or does anyone want to come up and add to this conversation? No?
So can we ask you maybe a question, Amanda?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I said, what an interesting story. So you've gone from sort of pivoting from one sector into another. What kind of skills did you have to acquire to now kind of be feeling comfortable in the crypto world?
Well, I had to be okay with taking no for an answer a lot. And then let's see, it's persistence. I mean, I think my dad said it best when I was a teenager. And he said to me, if you nag like this in your professional life, you're going to be very successful. And I just remember I've held on to that my entire life. And I never, Les Borsay, who's a client of mine, who's the co-founder of Wave Financial, I nagged him for a full year before he finally said, fine, let's do this. And that's what I took. I took a tenacious skill set. And I think a lot of people I talk to are afraid. They're afraid to approach people via social platforms. They're afraid to burden people who they see on who have followings and I never, ever had that fear. And I've always been, that go-getter attitude of just, approaching anyone I wanted to work with and nagging them to the point where it was maybe a bit uncomfortable for them, but it wound up working and also seeking quality clients and growing them, having an approach where it wasn't also just collecting clients, but also finding ways where, I was co-hosting a YouTube channel and contributing for different publications and that way, this kind of multi-pronged approach, I was getting my name out there. I was getting my voice out there. And with that, you build credibility. So I think we're living in this time, especially in the pandemic, where this digital world, aside from the metaverse, where, social media and these different platforms, you have to keep talking. You have to, whether that's writing, whether that's getting on camera, And you have to continue doing that in order to build credibility, because through that, I've been able to build even more clients and more opportunity, because you're becoming this trusted voice in the industry.
Taking no for an answer. I'm so I can relate to that. The two rules of crypto world, yeah. Never trust strangers, and never click on the links provided by strangers. And here's Moa approaching crypto world, like joining like Twitter Spaces, Clubhouses, approaching the club founders or participating in the sessions, saying, hello, we've got a platform for you. Nobody knows me. And the only way they can get on my platform, they have to click on my invite link. So, so I had some really exciting, funny conversations in this journey. But now we are more known, so it's a lot easier. But trust me, there's been some entertaining conversations in mid-December.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's very. And Sean, how did you get into Connect.Club? What's your background?
I was introduced to Connect.Club through a friend of mine, to the founders, and I just immediately when I saw the product, I thought, boom, this is something that definitely going to disrupt the social networking world, which is dominated by audio-only platforms. They got one interface. There is no Web3 element. There is no gamification element. So when I saw the product, I immediately fell in love with it. And we felt that it would be great if we dedicated to a community of people that are accustomed to using apps like this. And, the whole concept of the metaverse, DeFi, NFTs is kind of it's very fashionable, and we feel we fit it perfectly. Hence, we decided to do it. But yeah, I met the guys. I really like them. The team is fantastic. Everyone is like really engaged, really supportive. Got a really wicked sense of humor, and wicked in the UK means it's good. Yeah, we love it. And you know what? Everyone is also like bringing different elements to the table. Everyone's got like a different kind of a skill set. So I love it. We've got like a little family, and that's what enables us to build this. Well, majority of the people in this audience, I know them personally. So I love chatting with them, getting their ideas. Yeah,
that's great.
Can I say something?
And yeah, of course.
I think that like since the point of the let's say of this talk is how to inspire people to find jobs. I think that we're doing the best thing right now, sharing how we get our jobs. Like that seems like the dumbest thing, but actually it's the most useful thing. Like if I think about my personal experience, like I coming from university, I said, okay, but like who are these people in front of me that are sharing with me all these lectures every day? Like why are you doing what you're doing? How did you get your job? And when I dropped out, I started an academy. I mean, it was a very cheap and easy academy about digital marketing. Yes, because in Italy we also have marketing that is not digital. Then you will explain me what is it? I don't know. Anyway, I was there with people, and I mean, the most amazing thing that I remember about those times is, wow, like they are telling me every day how they get their job. I mean, if you go out there, if you want to find a job, if you just go there and write to random people and ask to random people in front of a camera, you're in front just of your phone and say, how did you get your job? How did you get your job? And they will tell you how that's the job, and we're humans by nature. The full on how they get a job and a mix of all of them to find your next job. So that's another piece of advice that I would say just from out of everything that we're saying right now, and this is can be maybe inspiring for other people listening.
And this is a question for all of you, just on that of talking to people and networking. What is your opinion on these crypto conferences? I'm sure some of you have been to some of them. If not, you've heard of them. You've heard the opinions. What do you advise people who want to get into the space to go? If they want to, which ones do they go to? and how can they make it worth their while?
Yes, I think the first people that you should speak is the speakers. Like, at least you know who they are and what they do. Maybe you don't like what they are, what they do, but at least like you know them. I mean, because you're there, you see what they do, and they will speak about 10 minutes, 20 minutes for what is their job, and you can speak to them. And trust me, speakers are always willing to speak with you after the speaking session. It's the hot moment is the perfect moment to go there and meet. The problem with NFTs conference, I've been recently to NF conference in Lisbon. I mean, it was an amazing experience. Okay, there are 2,000 to 2,500 people in this big park. The problem is that there were too many people, and you don't know who are these people around you. So the best thing that you can do usually sometimes is just or go random by random, and hopefully some of your friends know some of their friends, they know some other friends, or you can go from booth by booth. The best thing that you can do in an NF conference, NFTs conference, it's actually or speaking or exhibiting. For example, if you're an artist, and if you want to exhibit, like put your name somewhere. Find your way to put your free marketing even inside an event. Can I give you an advice about that? Like the last conference with the company Somnium Space. I mean, the car of Arthur, the CEO of Somnium, it's all brand. It's a Tesla that is all branded. It's all branded Somnium Space. Like huge branding on all the part of the Tesla, and we just parked the car in front of the in front of $5 which are find a common no, so endless seat to anyone until you find a way to go away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Akina, any thoughts on crypto conferences?
Oh my God, I think there's just too much of them. It's like every freaking day, I think I get a notice about a crypto happening somewhere in the world, and I'm just wondering when it's gonna burn out, right? And then and I heard, I haven't been to one, I'm sorry, but I heard there's a lot of party going on, and a lot of people that I respect on LinkedIn that writes really good posts and knowledge and share a lot of insight and on LinkedIn say that sometimes we should stop partying, a bit, and then really value the time that we're together and really build partnership and relationships to really build something together, right? The reason why I'm saying this is because there are some very serious players out there, and they are fundraising a lot of money. They're building something that it's really, really amazing, and they're not out there partying. So for the small players that they're going out having fun and thinking they're building something cool, watch out, because when they come out, your business might not exist anymore, might be gone, right? You'll be within the ecosystem. So that's all my input is, and yeah, and we should not give crypto or Web3 players a bad name.
Yeah. Sean, anything to add on that?
Oh, I've got a completely maybe different view to my co-speakers. I absolutely loved the NFT Miami. Absolutely loved it, and there was actually an element. I was lucky enough. There were some of our users were there. I spoke with the organizers. They allowed me to go and meet people like French Montana, but top speakers, Francesco, I don't know how it was in Lisbon, but the top speakers like Grant Cardone, Mark Cuban, all those guys just came in, had a chat, and gone. So you couldn't really speak to them, even if you wanted to. Yeah, but the whole atmosphere. And I find generally on the other side of the pond in the United States, people are really open to discussions, really open to new suggestions, ideas. So the ability to network with your online friends and this Web3 enthusiast, Metaverse enthusiast, IRL in real life, I find it's really, really important. And I'm going to be a speaker at NFT NYC. So definitely looking forward to that. And like Akina mentioned, the partying element, I actually met some of the top contacts were made during those parties, not at the conference itself. You come to those parties, they go a bit crazy. I mean, I was quite disciplined. I made sure that I was in bed by 11. I think the latest one was 12 o'clock at night. But some people literally lost their minds, and they were like partying like it's not tomorrow.
Parties,
Like
don't party like an animal.
no,
So,
seriously, they like come out of COVID and they thought that's it. Today is the last day of their life. So they go there till 5-6 o'clock. Then you meet them in the convention center in the morning. The smell of booze, they look like crap. You know, like, man, you need to go like grab yourself some coffee. They're like, yeah, but last night was great. Yeah, like, yeah. Actually, Russell in the audience, he was at the NFT Miami. He could concur. But absolutely loved it, and looking forward to NFT NYC. But yeah, definitely there are lots of events out there. I would say do the research, judge by quality of the speakers, the content, the format of it, and make selections. But right now you're gonna have a vast options, lots of options. And I've yet to experience a European one. I used to run a media company back in London. We focused on C-level executives. We always find it that the US, people are more to one meeting. Europe, they're more reserved, kind of trying to keep people at the arm's length and not so engaging. And then when we did in Asia, of course, there's also was different element. But yeah, sorry, that's my 2 cents.
No, it's great insight. And I also, my opinion on the matter, being the PR firm that is a capability we offer for clients, is we're securing speaker roles at these conferences. And because there are so many people wanting to speak, you're finding that when you're not an earned speaker role, it's immediate, so long as someone can write a check and sponsor speak. So in my opinion, when you're going to these conferences, it's a matter of navigating quality, because you're seeing that so long as someone can pay their way in, that goes down to the badge, that goes down to the whale parties, that goes down to everything, they're able to get in. And so just make sure that when you're going is, and I come from the entertainment industry, and it's where you see a lot of people at these film festivals and Sundance and Cannes, same exact, and it's a bit frustrating, but people do actually are worth it. We have somebody on the stage who has to.
How are you? My name is, and there's so much that I agree, love, but I will say I applied for NFT NYC and I got accepted. I didn't pay my way in at all or anything like that. So I do have to say there's a lot of my friends that did not pay their way in that are speaking, that did not have sponsors and rightfully were valued for their hard work. So I believe that this was fair in a lot of cases as well. So maybe there is hope for change in this situation, hopefully.
Thanks for coming on and contributing. There's another person on the stage. You want to go for it?
Russell.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to jump in quickly because you were saying about there's no conferences in Europe.
I've yet to experience conference. There are a bunch of them coming up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Berlin,
I was just gonna say.
Paris, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's loads of them in Europe. There's like a couple in Amsterdam, France, Germany, and there's even one actually coming to London too.
November, is it? Is it in November or October, I believe?
Oh God, I think so. Yeah. Because I'm basically so I've been invited not to be like big headed or anything, but basically I've been invited to like this exclusive thing that they're doing in a couple of weeks or whatever, and they're the people that are also doing the NFT London thing here in the UK as well. In actual fact, they're actually people from
Is that a
America.
+1 invitation? Can I tag along?
Well, I don't think so. I think it's just particular people that they wanted there for some reason. I don't know exactly what the rules are around that, and I don't think I can even bring a co-founder either to that. So, but as much as I'd like to take you, I don't know if they allow that or not. So, but yeah, they're going to be doing the London one anyway. I don't know when exactly it is, but in the next couple of months, I'm sure that they're doing one here in the UK. So keep an eye out for that, just to let everybody know. And yeah, by the way, the Miami event was friggin' crazy. I absolutely loved it, and I had the absolute time of my life out there. So I've got many stories to tell you. So when you get a chance, I'll have a chat with you offline, and I'll tell you about all the stories that
I
happened.
can't wait. I can't wait. I bet with your eloquently spoken English accent, you were like in high demand there. I tell you, yeah, it was. I loved it. I definitely recommend people to meet offline, because a lot of people in crypto world, they're using pseudonyms. You know, they're using animated avatars. You meet them on those audio-only platforms like Twitter Spaces or Clubhouses or LinkedIn's of this world, and you don't even know what they look like. I had about 12 people that came up to me saying, "Hey, Sean, how's it going?" I was like, "Who are you?" I'm David. I'm like, I've never seen you before, but your voice sounds familiar, and you look familiar. He goes like, "Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, I'm this guy, that guy, you know." Like, I said, "Oh, great," you know. So you've got a first name, you know. You're not like Ether 123 that's got, I don't know, Bored Ape kind of
I think the whole experience, right? I mean, just for anyone here who's thinking about going to any sort of NFT conference, in my opinion, it's definitely worth doing 100%. Doesn't matter where it is or where you go into, etc. I mean, obviously do check the quality of the speakers for sure, but it's definitely well worth doing if you want to mix and network. Because as much as I love, you know, Clubhouse and Connect.Club and etc., there's nothing like meeting a person in person and actually doing, you know, deals and stuff that way. So so yeah, definitely go and do it. Definitely network that way, and you also build closer relationships to the people that you're going to do business with as well. Anyway, I'm done speaking. Thank you very much, guys.
No, thank you. Yeah, and I think all the conferences are worth it, you know, not just NFTs. I think they're all worth it. Again, just navigating what's best for you. So on that note, I think we're coming up on the hour. If does anyone else want to, from the audience, come up and engage in this conversation on anything we've touched on so far, feel free to do so now. No? Oh, go ahead.
Hello, it's Charming. How are y'all today?
Hey,
hello,
good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for this space. I was trying to find out, because I've been navigating around the app the past month now, and I really want to get into some position either with Connect.Club or some other entity, if that was a possibility, and where can I go to seek that adventure?
So right now, we are looking for developers, so techie guys, you know, React Native developers, web developers, full stack developers. So if you got those skills, I'm definitely going to be chatting with you about it. No? Okay. So, but hey, you've got a name like Charming, okay? So we need to definitely talk. You know, that's it. Like, that's all the skills you need.
Yeah, I'll definitely network for you, though. Thank you so much.
Well, she's got a sense of humor. Does that work?
Absolutely.
Sorry to jump in. Can I just quickly jump in, because she said that she place or something. Like they're always looking for people at MAM, for people who are, you know, getting into the space and want to kind of get into it and stuff. So if you want to have a chat with myself offline, I'm Russell with the weird face. Then yeah, just drop me a message or whatever, and then we'll have a chat offline.
Great.
You ain't got a weird face. Come on. He's a good looking lad, I tell you.
And go ahead, whoever's on the stage, just go ahead.
Hey, my name is Janine. I've been like around Connect.Club a little bit, but I really have more experience with like Clubhouse and kind of experiencing just like really doing like kind of FOMO events where you get really people excited for it. And I'm excited for the fact that everything's going into the metaverse, and that there's going to be like a recreation of the world within there, you know, and with that comes all the same issues we have. And I guess I'm coming up on stage because I really want to know a little bit more about, you know, the job situation, not really for a job, but more so, you know, career as you know, a solopreneur, you know, being able to do independent things and building my own business at the same time, and trying to figure out how to kind of work around that and use my soft skills from my experiences, my personal life, things that are like not really written into the resume. That's what I've been exploring like today and the last couple weeks. I'm an educator. I've been a special education teacher for 20 years and lost my job recently, and I'm relieved, because having a job and having to answer to someone isn't what I want. What I do want to do is be able to lead other people, and you know, so I just kind of I want to put that out there and see what ideas and thoughts come from you all on stage as thought leaders, on where that's going, and you know, how you think someone transitioning from, you know, a job, quote unquote, to not necessarily being like, oh, do you have a job for me? And more so, this is who I am. This is what I do. You know, this is my vision and where I want to bring it. Not necessarily as a developer where I'm going to have to create something. Because like, I feel like I have a lot to bring. And it doesn't fit into a category at all. Times it ends up free form given to people that they go run away. How you know, I don't know.
Can I ask? So what?
Sure.
Like, since there's a lot of people here, why don't you tell us a little bit? What do you think are your skill sets, and what is it that you want to do? Right? Do you want to save the world, save the dolphin? You know, what is it? So like, we can kind of help you, give you a little bit a pointer. How do you start? Right?
Well, my vision.
Can I just quickly just say I have to apologize. There is another session.
Yeah, sorry,
it's
that's on me.
starting, so I'm gonna go away. But it's lovely to meet you all.
No, likewise.
Please update me what Janine is going to say about herself. I just feel she's got so many. She just comes across that she's got so many talents that maybe you know, not recognizing fully how that can be transferred into this Web3 space, especially what Amanda just mentioned earlier about the soft skills and things like that.
Yeah.
So I would definitely be interested in speaking with you as well. But lovely to meet you all.
Thank you, Sean.
Francesco, grazie.
Grazie.
Akina, I'm still here to give you the personal tour. So
yes. Please ping me. Yes.
Bye, Sean. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Yes.
Arrivederci. I'll see you soon. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah.
Great.
And
thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much. In fact, guys, we should wrap this up. If you want to connect through the Discord channel or just through LinkedIn, I highly. But we have reached our hour here, so.
Okay, Jenny, why don't you ping me on? I'm on Telegram. I'm on LinkedIn, and we can talk. How's that?
Okay, sounds good.
I'm free
I'll
now,
with
so
you
ping
on
me.
LinkedIn, because I saw your
Yes.
account on LinkedIn.
Sure, same
Okay,
with
good.
me here. Wherever you want to speak more, I mean, happy to have a
thank
personal
you.
call.
And we
Thank you,
also
Francesco.
can have, sorry for interrupting, we also always have the open stage. So now if people just want to chat, talk about the piano, you know, talk with each other, you're more than welcome. Just click the yellow head, this yellow speaking head, and just join the audience, and you can talk about anything. So like the official part is over, but the unofficial part can be as long as you guys want it to be.
Thank
Okay,
you,
sure.
Christine.
Thank you very much to anyone.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you
Francesca.
guys
Thanks,
for taking
Akina.
it.
Ciao, it's
Okay.
been a lot of fun. See you
Ciao.
next time.
Ciao. Thank you.